Hello folks, welcome to this special live stream about building apps with AI. It's going to be a long stream, I think, at least an hour, probably more, and we'll cover a whole range of things in one place. It's going to be a lot of information for a range of people, and that's okay. It's a huge topic, and we clear up front what we'll be looking at, so you can say, yes, that suits me or not, and you can fast forward if you're watching later on if you want to. We'll start out with the easier stuff, which is working with Xcode 26.3 and later, which has agentic coding built right in. So your Claude and Codex are similar, baked into Xcode these days. We'll start there, nice and easy. Then we'll go on to look at command line tools like Claude, Codex, and Gemini. I'm going to show you, controversially, how I configure my terminal to get the most from agents. We'll look at ways to make AI smarter using agent files and skills. Then we'll look at different ways of using AI tools rather than writing code for you. It can do other things too, including how I work with other tools like ChatGPT and Midjourney, including how I force GPT to really fight me as I refine ideas. And yes, we'll talk about vibe coding as well. It'll all be in here somewhere. Along the way, I'll be taking questions. So you can see this question area on the right-hand side here. I'm sort of vaguely watching that at one corner of my eye, looking out for questions that might come through. So if you want to ask questions along the way, please do, and I'll try to answer them as we work our way through. I'll do my best. If I miss it, it won't be a surprise because there's lots of people here. Ask again, harass me, and I'll do my best. If you've never touched AI before, this will be a really useful stream for you. And even if you consider yourself to be pretty experienced with AI, I think you'll learn something new along the way. Now, before I start, I want to make 4 things abundantly clear. First and most importantly, this stream is not sponsored by anyone. I don't get paid by any company featured in this stream. I haven't offered special deals or free tokens, whatever, with any of them or whatever, nothing like that at all. These are my honest thoughts. I just want to help you make great stuff. The closest I am to being sponsored was my friend Cesar said, could you mention my killer app Ombre? Yes, Cesar, I can. It's a great app for tracking recipes. That's it. And it's free. I didn't get money for this. I quite like the app. But that's it. That's as close as I'm being sponsored. Second thing, I have very low tolerance for folks who are abusive in the chat. You will just get an instant lifetime ban. I have, again, very low tolerance. Thirdly, I also have very low tolerance for AI bros who will shout again and again and again how the AI model they use is much better than whatever AI model you choose to use. Seriously, no matter what you pick, someone will still tell you their thing's better, okay? So if I were you, I would just learn to ignore them and have fun. And finally, if you watch this stream and think, actually, AI coding's not for me, that's perfectly fine. I said in my recent newsletter, if you sit down at Xcode every day and you love writing code, you can and should carry on doing that unchanged. You still have complete control over everything you build. You still have to dream up and deliver everything you could before. And that pure joy of bringing ideas to life is still there waiting for you. So if you're having fun hacking with Swift right now, don't feel bad about ignoring AI entirely. Okay, let's start with the easy stuff. I'm going to close Ombre. Sorry, Cesar. Close Ombre. I'm going to Xcode, so I'm running 26.3, okay? 26.2 and earlier had some AI assistance built in, but it's gotten so much better from 26.3 onwards. They integrate Claude and Codex agents right into the IDE. So to start out, for now, making a new project, and I'll choose a macOS project. It's a bit faster to run on my Mac. And I'll call this thing example 1, nice catchy name, SwiftUI, next, and create. And I have, unsurprisingly ahead of time, configured my Mac to talk to both Claude and Codex. You don't want to watch me try and sign into these things. And so when I go to this button here, this sort of sparkly line thing, which is the coding assistant thing, you can get that with Command 0. Bring a screen up here. If it's your first time doing this, it's going to ask you to sign in. It's going to ask you to make accounts on Claude or Codex and sign into them. Connect your account to them right now. I had that ahead of time, so I don't see it here. I should say, though, Command 0 took some retraining for me, because for a long time, no matter which inspector you're in, which navigator, sorry, Command 0 meant hide them all, and now it means go to the AI agent, which confused the heck out of me no end. Anyway, I've already configured this stuff to talk to both Anthropic and OpenAI, Claude and Codex. You can get some work done with a free OpenAI account. I believe Stuart Lynch has a video on this. What can you make with a free OpenAI account? Because right now, they've put in place larger token limits to encourage folks to try it out. Tokens are basically the characters you're being sending, well, not characters, but chunks of words sending to and from LLMs. And so they've put in very generous free limits right now to try and get folks hooked, presumably. So he managed to build a whole app with a free account. I suspect it would have run out immediately after the account was made, app was made, but he did a fair chunk, and he was there. Prakash, thank you. Anyway, if you are trying to use it free, you're going to find it frustrating on a regular basis, because if you don't want to get any work done, you're going to need to pay. You're going to need to pay. There's no way around it at this point, because you will blast through tokens very, very quickly. Folks asking, is the stream available later on? Yes, the stream's available later on. It'll be on YouTube forever and ever and ever a day. Okay, so the best way to start with agentic coding in AI is just to type the first thing that comes into your mind. Seriously, just give it a try. Like, whatever pops in your mind, just try it out. And I'll be honest with you, for some reason, you're probably thinking, I'm going to make a to-do app. Like, I don't know what it is about Swift developers. We love writing to-do apps more than most musicians like writing love songs. But just be brave. Just type in this box wherever pops into your head. Just try it out. You want to do app? Go for it. Don't worry about getting it wrong. You just wait for more tokens to arrive, then try something new. Right? Try something else. Just throwing things at the AI is a great way to learn. And you're going to screw up so fast, but you'll learn so much faster. Now, I have a Claude Max plan. Actually, I have 2 Claude Max plans. And so I have a huge number of tokens. And so I'm going to say, let's be ambitious here. I can chat to you while it's building. I'm going to tell this thing down here in the message Claude agent box. I'm going to say, make a fully featured chess app with an AI opponent. That's a really bad prompt that you'll learn later on. But for now, I'm going to say, just go to town. Now, that's a lot of work. Now, what would it take for you to build a fully featured chess app with an AI opponent? Answer is quite a lot, right? That's, for me, easily a day of work, I expect, to get the rules right and castling and en passant, whatever. There's a lot of work happening here for me. I reckon a day. And I've asked Claude to do it, because I'm obviously very, very demanding. And you'll see it's just started to work already. It's going. It's right now. And what it's done is, the first thing it's done is it's read our files, and it's made this plan for itself. It's just had a go at breaking down this large problem. How do I build a fully featured chess app, whatever fully featured means, of course, with an AI opponent? How do I do that? Well, the answer is, you don't just, build the app. You break it down, and you break it down, and you break it down. So you can see it's got a list for itself. Well, first I'll make the chess model. Board, pieces, logic, rules. Then AI opponent. Then a chessboard view. Then game controls. And so it's made this plan for itself. And it's going to work through these things step by step. You can see already it's done one of them here. It's made the board, pieces, move, logic, and rules here. So it's going to work through these things step by step. And this is what allows the LLM to build bigger, more complex software just the same way we do. You don't say, how do you learn piano? Step 1, become Mozart, right? You break it down to very, very small things. Learn this key, learn this scale, learn this piece, and you get bigger and bigger and bigger. And what will happen is, it's doing the same thing. It's broken it down to a whole bunch of very small steps, and it's going to work through them step by step by step. And you can see, as it's working, it's kind of talking to itself. Just chatting away at what it's doing, what it's working on. It's written this file here. You can go and view it if you want to. Here we go. So I've written out this file here, which is 587-ish lines of Swift code. So I was asking, am I on 26 RC1 or version 2? I'm on RC2, which shipped yesterday. Thanks, Apple. Anyway, so it's already written, almost 600 lines of Swift, and that's just for the very first check in its list, right? So it's doing a lot of work along the way. It's written the chess AI now, and if I go back to the Project Navigator, you'll see it actually working. Here we go. Here's the AI it's written for us. This is a Minimax with alpha beta pruning. You can see how it all works out here, where to try and place the middle game for the king and similar. So it's working very hard to build a fairly good chess AI, and if we're lucky, we'll see it beat me live on the stream. And what's happening is it's working, again, Command 0 to back the conversation, and it's going to go blank for me. Cool. Oh, there we go. Phew. It's working. It's still talking to itself. It's talking about things. Now let me do this. Now let me do this. So you can see what it's doing. You can track its progress along the way. And if at any point it hits problems, Xcode has built-in tools to let it find those problems quickly and resolve them. And there's a whole bunch of these built in. It can read the current file you're in. It can read the current build errors you have. It can even see the contents of the preview canvas. It can get a screenshot of the preview and read that preview and say, oh, you have this problem here, or the alignment's wrong, whatever. And it will use that to evaluate how its results look. Now, while it's working, see it's getting there slowly. It's actually onto the last step already, which is obviously remarkable. I love it very much. It's working. You can see it here is responding, and I can't type in that box. I can't send more messages. I've got to wait for it to finish doing all its work, and then I can carry on. For folks who are more used to doing other ways of working with LMs, which we'll look at shortly, the command line and similar, this can be frustrating. We kind of want to do stuff as it's working. Oh, try this, and give it a nudge as we're, as it's thinking, just queuing up things as it goes, and that works better. Someone asks here, is it trained on iOS 26? Does it liquid glass? So Apple behind the scenes provides Claude with some pre-pieces of training. We recommend this, this, and this for things like liquid glass. So it knows how to adopt liquid glass out of the box. It does a very, very good job of handling the APIs because Apple's given it files to read. Now, ideally, Claude is training those ahead of time. In practice, it isn't. It's fed to Claude as your requests go in, which means those extra files eat into your token budget, how much you can spend per every sort of 4 or 5 hour block or per week or whatever. Anyway, so it's building now. It's hit naturally some concurrency problems. Welcome to the club, Claude. It's now trying to think about making it sendable, non-isolated. Yes. We can now inflict Swift concurrency on LLMs for fun. Yes, DV Shelley, the files are sent to GPT as well. The files are sent as, effectively instructions for the bot ahead of time. Here's how you can work with our stuff. It's not just Claude, it's everyone here. So it's building time now. It's still in its main actor. It's arguing with itself. It probably hasn't realized yet. It has just finally figured it out. It's got main actor everywhere because that's the default thing for new Swift app projects in Xcode 26. So it's still have a go. There's some warnings. I reckon it's probably fine though. I reckon it's probably like a warning at this point. It's like, it's getting worse. Oh, this is Swift concurrency, folks. It's going to do its best, and we'll see how it gets on. Anyway, so it's going to send the information up to Claude about the liquid glass and similar, which is how it works. Anyway, so you can, if you want to, say stop. You can put this thing out of its misery and make it stop if you wanted to. You can even, if you want to, stop and then try again. It might get a bit confused with half an old thing and half a new thing, but you definitely can't send messages in the meantime. You've got to basically wait for it. Anyway, keep in mind, this is just the beginning. This shipped the very first time 2 weeks ago from Apple. It's not even out of release candidate status yet. This is release candidate 2, and as a result, it's going to get more and more and more. The fact the Xcode team shipped this already is a huge step forward by itself. So even though more experienced AI folks might find it frustrating, they want to use the terminal or Codex or whatever, someone else, I'm still really glad to see it. Like, I'm genuinely well done for the team. I have no doubt we'll see a lot more at Dub this year. All right. It claims to have built. I might kill it at this point because it's really struggling. I might press stop and see what it's going to do. It's now just struck as something else. I'll just press Command R and hope this thing's going to run. It had a good go at concurrency and really struggled because it is hard. And there we go. There's our chess app. Now, the colors, I think one's white and the other one's white. I think the white, hello dogs, the white ones you can see through are probably the ones that are white, and the white ones that are filled are probably the black ones. I suspect that's Claude not being terribly smart. Hello dogs, wait, nicely. Sorry, dog tax required. Oh, how many tokens did it take? Good question. So let's go and just quickly look at my Claude settings. So I look here, we'll see how much I burned through my token usage, half of which is probably concurrency by itself. 5%, so not a lot. I mean, I've used hardly any tokens, quite frankly. We're doing fine. Right, anyway, so does it work? Let's find out. I'm going to do a traditional move forward, so you can see it knows the correct place to move forward. I'll move to here, and then it's black to move, black move the knight to there, so it's threatening my pawn. So you can see it's having a go. Marie Saul asked how to do graphic elements. I suspect these are going to be SF symbols. Which is obviously a great choice of Claude in our respect here. Having our own pictures will be slightly harder to do. I'm going to defend the pawn like that, and then it's going to move forward. Yeah, so it's doing a good job. So it's got a reasonable AI. I suspect you wouldn't want to ship that AI. You want to have gameplay kit or a custom chess-based AI, but it's done a good job. You can see it kind of works. White to move, it's tracking the moves down here. What's up here? New game is white. Difficulty. Ooh, depth 4. Nice, and then new game. So it kind of works. Now, even though it is fun to work like this, a much, much better idea is to start small and work your way up. Like build a small thing first. In this respect, just give me a chessboard with pieces on. Now make it 2 players. Then make it AI. You want to do a small thing, then fix that to be correct. Then get a feature over that, then fix that to be correct, then over that to be correct, again and again and again and again. Otherwise, it has a much bigger chance of going completely off the rails, burning through tokens, as it did here. Keep in mind, I've got the Claude Max 20 plan, which gives me a very, very large number of tokens. That little concurrency fight would probably have burnt through a regular pro plan straight away. You'd run out of tokens, so it wouldn't have been very pleasant. Anyway, building this way, step by step by step by step, incrementally, means you have lots of small course corrections rather than trying one-shot stuff. Airbnb, this is using Claude currently, but Codex is one click away. I have that available as well. So I know some folks claim you can one-shot apps and ship to the App Store. Don't be like that. Make great apps still, folks. Polish your apps. Try them out. Try out dynamic type. Try out VoiceOver. Try out different device sizes. Just make great apps still. The fact that AI makes it faster, we don't want to cut corners still. And as you work with a smaller steps approach, you're going to find that being specific will really help. Because you're all developers. You can say things like, make this corner radius be 16 points, or whatever you want to, right? You're being precise about what you actually want here. But also, you're going to find that being vague is fun too. My daughter, Charlotte, who's 12 years old, just shipped a game for iPhone. And it uses prompts inside there. She's like, make it look pretty. And that was it. And she went, oh no, make it look prettier. Add sparkle. And what happens is it allows the AI to kind of riff on things as it goes. And it often has ideas you did not have. It has original ideas. That's a very good idea. Well done, Codex. Or well done, Claude. That's a great idea. And it's a powerful way to work. You want a bit of you being very specific, but give it some room to wiggle us all around as well and see what happens. Again, Claude can see SwiftUI previews. And it can also read error messages. So when things aren't quite right, like it was happening here, it can try to figure them out. It can try and fight its way through. Don't really want to know what crimes are committed with concurrency to make this thing. Oh yeah, there's still some concerns around this kind of thing. It'll try. So when things aren't quite right, it'll try to figure it out. But you can also attach pictures. So if you want to say, make it look like this, rather than using words, you can say, thank you very much, Vulcan CCIT. You can look at screenshots too. Yes, you can. So you could say, I'll press down here, attach a picture. I'm going to attach a file, a new file. I'm going to select some assets from a game I made in my previous live stream. I'll attach this board picture. This is like a kind of iOS 6 Find My Friends felt. Remember the old games app on an iPhone? Game Center, that's the one, Game Center. That. I'll attach this here and say, look, I love this design. Make it look like, I can't type, sorry, look like this. Don't worry about the concurrency stuff. Oh. because otherwise it'd be in concurrency hell for a good old while. There we go. So I'm going to send that screenshot. It's going to look at it and evaluate it and say, well, I can see you've got some design here. Beautiful board, thank you very much. Dark green squares, green grid, gold brass beveled border in a style. So it's going to basically have a go at remaking that. And I'm giving it no instructions. I've obviously, drawn the picture ahead of time, but I'm giving it no instructions how to match that. So, it's going to have a go at doing that now. And this is, of course, great when you have an idea for your UI and you want the LLM to try and match that idea somehow. And it could be just a sketch. You've drawn your iPad, look like this, please. Maybe you have had a designer, you've paid someone to go and build something or design something, or you've gone to Dribble and paid someone there to design a killer look for your app. Picture, ping file, in it goes, have a go at this, see what it can do. And it might go, not happening, it's currently got build failed, so you can see it's fit an error, but it's now going to go ahead and fix those errors. We're going to try and, it's probably got, I expect, concurrency issues at this point. It's going to have a go at fixing those now and see if we can make the whole thing work. Now, if you want to, you can fire up multiple conversations at the same time. Just be careful, because out of the box, they're going to overlap. There we go. That's a preview snapshot right there. Let's have a go. Let's run that code back. It looks great. I agree. Look at that. Not bad, right? It's still got, transparent and white, but look, it's fine. So it looks better straight away. And all I did is provide a picture. So again, if you want to have more conversations, you can do, just press this button here and press your new type here. So you can do a Codex one or another Claude agent. You could use Sonnet if you want to be a bit cheaper. It's also very fast. I could do another Claude here and say, okay, add code comments, whatever. And that'll do the add code comments. And while that's happening, I can go back to this other one and say, actually, I want you to explain chessai.swift to me. And it will do that in this one. And I can do another one. Let's say I want to have another Claude, and I'll say write a readme.md file for this project. And it'll all work in parallel. Now, I've chosen those intentionally because they don't conflict, right? I don't want a situation where the AI is trying to change the file here and the file at the same time with another AI conversation. They're gonna fight all the time, and you'll have a horrific mess. Probably best not to do that. So be careful how you overlap them here. Be thoughtful. I think this one now finished explaining its stuff. This one over here, what do we have? That's the README file being written. And then over here we have code comments. So they're all working in their own way independently, which is a good way to work. Now, if at any point you're like, no, the AI's done something terrible, this kind of sucks. Like, if you hate my green and gold or brass, whatever it called it, design, then this little history button here is very, very helpful. Sadly, again, folks who are used to working on the command line will find this an annoyance because this thing here requires you to have Git set up for this repository. Now, on the command line, you can normally say, I have Git for stuff I want to keep forever and ever and ever, but I want to be able to wind backwards and forwards inside a conversation. That is not currently supported by Xcode, so you've got to have Git. And you still want to have Git regardless, right? So it's a good idea to have Git, so it's not a problem, but it's a slight little niggle in Xcode right now. So that is agentic coding in Xcode. It's not complicated, but it is a huge step forward from the team. And I have no doubt they're working on so much more. I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with this at WWDC. Some questions real fast. How long should conversations be? So you can actually ask it. You can talk to it a little bit and say, what is my token limit? How am I doing for states and so forth? If you do slash and do, is it models or tokens, context? None of the hashes are working. Cool. Try context. Complete guesswork. There we go. So it's going to tell us what's in the context right now. And it's saying you have Claude Opus 4.6. I've used 31,000 of my 200,000. So I'm 60% the way through. And it tells you how it breaks down inside that. So Apple's system prompt is here. It's 3.7 thousand. That is 1,000 words or so. That include the liquid glass and similar. Their tools are here. That is things like how do I do screenshots? How do I analyze build errors? They're also here. We have messages between me and Claude and back the way. Tons of free space. This is the auto compact buffer, so it knows how to compact a conversation, which means when it runs out of space to remember what you're talking about, it starts again and remembers bits of what you told it previously. That's the auto compact buffer. And then these are the tools we have. You can see there's grep, there's ls, render previews, the screenshot thing, test list, run some snippets, make directories, whatever. So these are all in there somewhere with some degree of tokens being used. Any more questions? Yes, manual committing is fine. You can actually tell Claude to commit for you or Codex commit for you if you want to, if you trust it. It's down to you. Are there advantages using the built-in AI? Yeah, so Xcode, the advantage using Xcode right now over the command line or similar is you get things like it just took a screenshot by itself. Now, that same functionality is open to other tools to use. You can get that from Claude in the command line because Xcode ships an MCP server inside, Model Context Protocol, and so it means that Claude, the command line tool, Codex command line tool, and similar, can talk to those same tools automatically. The advantage is that Apple have done that for you. So you get that whole liquid glass prompt for you, explain how to make good liquid glass apps. You get the, snippet execution, whatever it is, all this kind of stuff here, all built in for you out of the box. There are a bunch of downsides, and I'll walk you through them as we go, but there are some upsides that you saw by itself. It tried it out, found the errors, got a screenshot. It just works very, very smoothly. So it's a more limited experience at this time. I expect Xcode 27 to be a significant step forward. But right now, it does do those small number of things very, very well, which is kind of the Apple way, right? Pick and choose things, do them the very best you can. Can it create UI tests? It can. Broadly speaking, I tend to tell my agents actually UI tests are a last resort. Try and do unit tests first, because obviously they're much faster, much more repeatable, less flaky and similar. We haven't still got a great UI test library for Swift yet, sadly. Perhaps that'll change this year. We'll see. So that's agentic coding. And I've mentioned a few times about working on the command line. And this is where, honestly, most AI folks seem to do their work. It's certainly what I do most of my work. And this is where we get to the first controversial thing. It's not really Claude versus Codex, despite what the AI bros might tell you. For some reason, I don't know why, people love to fight about which terminal they use. It has to be an us versus them for everything that exists ever, apparently. I don't know why. Anyway, I use a terminal called iTerm2. It's free. It replaces the built-in terminal very well. Other folks like Ghosty. I'm sure there are more out there that exist. What I can say is that most people, unlike it might be using 79, we do tend to replace the built-in terminal app with macOS. That hasn't changed very much in a long time, sadly. iTerm2 is a real powerhouse, so is Ghosty. They're wonderful, wonderful tools. And I'm going to show you how it works here, and we'll do a bit of coding here as well. So I'm going to leave this concurrency hell chess app to one side. I'll make a new project in Xcode. I'll just choose macOS again, because it's faster. Call it example 2. And that is a new empty app for SwiftUI on my desktop like last time. So V Vendetta asking, do you want to plan things out first or write a mega prompt instead of doing step-by-step prompts? That's a great question. I'll show you exactly how I do that because you can get some really great results. I've made a new project here in Xcode. I'm going to leave it alone. I might kill the preview to make more space for me to see the code, whatever, but I normally just leave it as it is, right? And now I'm going to open up iTerm. I know it looks like terminal.app right now, but I've customized this a fair amount behind the scenes. For example, the way I use AI very standardly is kind of baked in. If I've got a shortcut key already, Shift-Command-R activates this mode here. So it opens up a fresh terminal view window here with AI1, AI2, AI3, AI4, and then commands over on the right, all pre-labeled for me to work with. So I've got 4 AI tabs and agents have a command tab at the top there as well. Prakash says, do I think LM coding is stealing experience in the dev site today? Yes, I do. It's very, very hard for juniors today. Seniors are doing incredible work. Seniors are being 10x easily by using Codex or Claude or Gemini. And juniors are having a really hard time. And I don't know what to do. It's grim, because if you don't have juniors, you never get seniors. Yeah, we don't know yet, folks, I'm afraid. I'd love to find out. Anyway, trying to stay positive for the time being. I have this pre-made layout, the way I want to work, and I can switch between tabs very easily. It's just Shift Command left and right like this, move between tabs. And if I want to do some work, say here, and I'm doing whatever here, I want to move that later on, I can just move it by pressing Options. So that moves now to the 5th position, for example. So I can move tabs around very, very easily, entirely on the keyboard. So it's very good for a keyboard warrior like me to get around very quickly. If I want to do some specific work in tabs, which is very, very common for me, I would use Command I to rename the tab. So I might say, oh, in this one, I'm doing store kit, for example, and it'll appear as a store kit. And then over here in AI2, well, I want you to be documentation, whatever. And so I can see, shortcut keys, press Command 1 for store kit work, Command 2 for documentation work. And it means I can have a whole bunch of things working at the same time and know what they're doing. Because if you're trying to multitask, many agents are working at the same time. You're like, I'm an agent 4. What were you doing? Scroll back, scroll back, scroll back. Oh, that's what I was doing. You waste a lot of time, okay? If you just remember, this is doing store kit, this is doing documentation, this is doing cleanup, this is doing whatever, testing. It helps you remember what you're trying to do at any given time. Once I'm ready like this, I would then go and find the folder I want to work on. And in iTerm 2, if you press Command-Shift-I, this little icon appears in the thing, and that means whatever I'm typing now is sent to all tabs simultaneously. Can I make text larger? Of course I can make text larger. There you go. Large text. Hopefully that's easier to read. Sorry, I apologize. I hope that's better. This icon means that all things I type are now sent to all terminals at the same time. Oops, they're all a bit small for that one chap, sorry. There you go, make them all real big. That's actually a bit too big now, perhaps. There we go. Anyway, so they're all a bit bigger, mostly. I'm now sending my stuff to all the tabs. So if I were to say on my desktop, I was at CD example 2, in the first tab, second tabs had it, third tabs had it, fourth tabs had it, fifth tabs had it. They're all now in example 2. So they've all moved to the same folder to work with stuff. And then I could say, let's fire up Claude here, for example, or Codex or Gemini. Again, please don't listen to AI bros. They're all great in their own way. It's going to ask you, are you sure this is safe? Some folks very commonly say, yeah, it's fine, just approve everything, and then delete their home directory. Broadly speaking, you don't want to do that. You want to be careful. Yes, I trust this folder. It'll ask you again and again, you trust it or not. Yes, I trust the folder. Boom. So now Claude is active in all these terminals in that folder. Now, this is where I'd remove this little icon. I press Command-Shift-I again. So I'm now no longer typing to all terminals at the same time. It's all individually typed. This last one, I'd normally quit Claude there. This one, I want to have the command line only. This is where I'm looking at diffs commonly. I'm working with Git commonly. I'm poking around my files. That's for me. That's my commands tab. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's for Claude to go to town. You go to town with your code over there, buddy. 5 for me. Okay. Now, as you work, you're going to recognize it'll do some work. It'll ask you to do stuff, and it'll say, "Well, do you trust Claude to use ls? Can Claude use CP to copy files? Can it use MV to move files?" And you're like, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. After a while, you start to get intuition for what you trust Claude with. And it might take a few weeks, maybe a few months if you're a bit doubtful. You're going to learn, yes, Claude, these things I trust you with. And as a command, you can say /permissions, which lets you allow and deny tools. You can say, yes, these things are fine. I want to do this and this and this. So you might say, add a thing here. Yes, bash, ls star. You can use ls however you want to. I don't care. And then say, yeah, put it everywhere in my user settings. I'm going to allow all Claudes ever to access that thing. And another one, I want to use bash find, for example. Yeah, use find, it finds files, go to town. And you build up. And in my main Mac, this is my recording Mac. My main Mac, I've got maybe 20 things now I trust. Yes, go and search the web if you want to. Yes, go ahead and use MV or CP or whatever you want to. Echo. Common things I know are safe. But /permissions helps you customize that list to be the way you want it to be, the level of trust you have. And now it's a regular Claude. You can go ahead and start typing to it. Make this into a score keeping app for 2 players, whatever. And just like you had before with Xcode, it'll start by reading the files, scanning the files, and deciding what's there. And it'll say, because it's the first time running it here, is it okay for me to change the files? You'll think for a good while and say, okay, I'm going to change the file here, here, and here. Is that okay? And you can say, yes, go ahead, yes. What you'll find yourself doing, particularly when it's a new project like this, greenfield project like this, you're going to want to say, this is what I want to mention to you here. This is lovely, by the way. See this? Item 2 notifications. So you can be over here in tab 4 thinking, and it'll say, oh, tab 1 wants retention. You can go back and talk to tab 1. Anyway, when you're in a greenfield project, just noodling around, trying things out, nothing to lose, you're going to say, yes, just crack on, buddy. Make all the edits you want to. This is where you get into vibe coding territory. Just go ahead and start making edits. Don't ask me again. Do it. Now, the very first time you run the command line, it'll say this. Do you want to have the language server system, the plugin pulled into this or not? And it helps you, in theory, provide code intelligence. I'll say, yes, crack on. It'll download it. It wants to restart. And it claims to finish the work already. Done. So it's got score changes. It's got color coding and 2-player sections over side by side. And what do we have? There we go. There's the code. And it should build and hopefully even run. Let's find out, shall we? What did it build for us? It's thinking, there we go, add one. Oh, look at that. Okay, it goes the wrong way, going down the ways, but otherwise it's pretty good. Yeah, very nice. So that's a nice tiny prompt. Do this small thing, please. Again, start small, work bigger, work bigger. It's just a much smarter way to work. Now, when you're typing in Claude, one thing Claude can do that Xcode currently can't do is let you queue up stuff. I see, by the way, this grey text here. That is Claude suggesting the next thing I might want to type. It sounds so lazy, but it's honestly, about half the time, it's exactly correct. Just press enter, and it will start doing that, basically. It fills in the text for you. But I can type now. Also, make the animation extravagant. Whatever. And that's queued up now. I can press up to edit the queue if I want to, or to let it do its thing, and it'll just, you can add Q while it's working. And even what will happen is during some breaks of its work, it kind of comes up for air briefly and goes, oh, you've got messages for me. It'll take them into account while it's working. So queuing is very, very helpful. Look at that. Yeah, no. Dispatch queue. Anyway, look, we'll fix that later on. Don't worry. Okay. Extravagant animations apparently, and scores to get bigger later on. Let's find out. So I press plus. Whoa, look at that. It is extravagant. Okay, see, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's a stupid app, but that's fine. It's fine. You can just noodle around. You can just try things. You can just make things and see what happens, folks. Why not? So you saw there, it did some stuff for me. And while it was thinking, I typed another message. And again, you can queue as many as you want to. Just type. And while it's working, it'll bring them in as soon as it can. It's very easy to work with. And again, press up to edit the queue while it's working. Or after it's finished now, press up to go back through old messages. So you can go and find things, or you can see here, press Control-R to search your history, try and find exact things here. And it works really, really well. You can just queue up stuff and see what you get on. Now, I want to show you one of the best things you can do with the command line that you cannot do with Xcode. Xcode has, again, it's a very first version, but it's a fairly small implementation of what Claude can do. I genuinely think this year, Xcode 27, the team have something special ready for us. Come on, Xcode team, you know I love you. With the command line, you can enter a mode where it grills you. And this is fantastic. So in this case, one thing I love to do with new apps like this, is a prompt like this. I want you to make this into an incredible app. Really the best in its genre. Then say, ask me a comprehensive set of questions to help design it. This is a killer prompt to use. It's going to go away and think about its life for a while and say, okay, it's currently a scorekeeper, not a lot of options there to work with, but then it'll come back to you with some questions. What do you think about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And help you guide your idea. And again, it's going to have a whole bunch of ideas here you never had. But it's on you to shape them. And this is true for people who use AI massively or hardly at all or not at all. You as the app developer, you are the ultimate arbiter, the ultimate judger of what makes good stuff. It's on you. So you can see it's asking me here the questions. So it started the questions here, and then question 1 is, what's the primary use case? I can choose 1, 2, 3, 4, or something else. So I might say it's for casual party games. Okay, boom, off it goes. Next up, visual style, bold and sporty, clean and minimal, fun and playful, retro scoreboard. Yeah, sounds good. Do that. Players, oh yeah, unlimited. Features, and now it's checkbox stuff. So I'll say that one, yeah, go to town. Do all those things. I mean, just go to town. Submit. And it'll send it off to Claude and go, okay, this is very interesting. I like this idea. And it factors that into its plan. But then it'll come back with more questions. It will grill you until it's explored every possibility for the app, which is powerful. It'll have ideas you had not thought of, like retro scoreboard and similar. Yes, how do you put them out? Exactly correct. It might be a multi-platform app in the future. Who knows? Anyway, what kind of score do you want to have? I don't know. That one, whatever. Just go ahead and try things out. Game time, whatever. I don't know. I'm just pressing the first one now. There you go. What do you want to target? And I'll choose iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Boom. Submit. And it might come even back with more. I mean, honestly, it's got more questions coming back. There you go. It really grills you. And along the way, it will just keep on giving you fresh ideas. And you can say no. No. You can just pick like one of 3 ideas. Celebration. Go absolutely wild, obviously. Match history, whatever. Not so data. That one, submit. All right. So look, you can see what's happening here. It's turning a trivial idea, the score counting app, into a huge idea, a production-ready idea. And then it presents the plan. And I was going to go into detail here. You can see, here's what I'm thinking. That sounds good to me. Go ahead and plan it out. Okay, so now it's going to go ahead and enter a thing called plan mode. It's not going to do any coding. It's just going to sit and think through the ramifications of these answers. And this is where it gets into the coding territory. It's going to say, well, okay, this thing has this, So I'm going to use this view model here, this storage area here, this is it. It starts to make actual choices that help guide it. And the reason for this is very, very important. You've got to remember that LLMs like GPT, Claude, Codex, whatever, they have what we call a context window. How much information it can hold about you at any given time. And it could be, we saw, I think, 200,000 tokens earlier. It could be 1 million tokens in Sonnet and similar. And so it's going to fill up this window full of words. 1 token is like 3 to 4 characters, right? So like, call it 2 tokens a word. So it fills up the words. Eventually it goes, I'm out of tokens. And it has to restart from scratch. And it'll try and remember some things, but it won't remember brilliantly. Because if it remembered everything, it would fill the whole thing again, right? It remembers parts of what it learned previously. As a result, the plan mode makes it write down literally everything in great specific detail about what it plans to do. This file is this file is this, UI is this, the animation is this, extreme detail. So that when that context window is thrown away, it goes, aha, this plan has everything I need to know. Now, the specific exact words you said to make the plan, they're gone. But the actual fundamentals of what the plan means, how to do it, how to make it happen, that is saved. Chance of questions real fast. Will Xcode update live as you're making changes to the code? Yes, it updates live as it's happening. You can watch it as it's doing its work. It's even like a sort of a little visual effect as files change behind the scenes. It does like a little Xcode-y, the Siri shimmer thing where it goes, ooh, glow appears briefly. Advice for a junior getting into this stuff. It's hard. It's really hard right now. It is so tempting to build and ship apps just through LLMs and say, my portfolio is fantastic. You're going to be asked coding questions at your interview. You just are. Why do you choose that? Why do you choose this? Why not Swift data? Why core data? Whatever. They're going to ask you questions about the code. Be prepared to answer them. And by the way, Claude can do that too. Asking, I'm sure, Codex. You could say, hey, grill me about this code. Ask me questions about the code to make sure I understand it. So yeah, go to town, build things, learn what it's done, learn why it's done it that way, and then understand it by making it ask you questions back till you feel comfortable. literally say to it, pretend you are an interviewer, grilling me about my GitHub portfolio app I want to ship. Ask me questions until you're confident I understand it. And then it'll keep on doing it again and again and again until it feels confident you know it. And it's a great way to learn it, to actually learn the code. Because what I see again and again and again is folks use LLMs to build stuff, and the LLM, sadly, even the very best, even your Opus 4.6, your Codex 5.3, extra high, will still make some terrible choices. Okay, it's going to happen sooner or later. It'll make some terrible choices. You saw dispatch queue async go by. You saw it fighting with concurrency. It's going to make bad choices. Knowing ahead of time, do this, don't do this, this is good, this is bad, goes a long way to making apps much, much faster. Yes, my daughter who's 12 can make her app. Check out the App Store, by the way. I should probably find it for you while I'm talking. It's very hard to find. It's an iPhone app on a Mac. If I find my company, because shipped under my company name because she hasn't got an account yet. It's my company here, and then her app is a game for iPhone. There it is. Scramble It. This is it. She's saving up to buy Lego, by the way. So buy her game. It's like $2, and it gets her towards buying Lego. She made that knowing nothing about AI, nothing about Claude, nothing about SwiftUI or devices. But I was next to her saying, look, I know it looks right now, but could you just launch it on an iPhone SE? And she goes, oh, wow, suddenly it's really compressed because she was running on iPhone Pro Max. Let me just show you what dynamic type looks like. And of course, the fonts get much bigger. And she's like, oh, yeah, it looks terrible now. So thinking about ahead of time, these things takes you a very, very long way. A very long way. So yes, it is still very valuable to learn to code, know what it's doing, and give it sensible guidance along the way. It'll help you so much. And yes, when you're a senior developer, or even a junior developer, you'll be using AI extensively. Maybe not to write full apps, maybe to write full apps, I don't know. I'll tell you what, even if you don't use it to write full apps, just saying, hey, review my code, spot any problems, identify any hiccups, or something like that can go a long way to helping your stuff get better. So even if you want to write your code by hand for your brilliant portfolio, please do. It's a great way to get a job. Still put it through Claude. Say, review my code. Check my code out. Are there any problems? Does it behave correctly with whatever settings you want to work with? Help it understand, and it'll give you good feedback to improve. So it is safe. Seriously, coding is still a fantastic career. I love it so much, and code does help. What should I start with? SwiftUI. At this point, I don't think folks are really writing much UI kit. Certainly not new folks. At this point, I don't think anyone's starting new projects with UI kit. SwiftUI is being used basically everywhere. All right, scramble it, go away. Buy the app. It's a great app. She's trying to say get Lego. So you can see now it's used 19,000 tokens. You're probably wondering how it's going in my Claude budget. Should we find out? I've got, again, Claude Max. I think I'm quite safe. I've used 7%. Okay, I've barely scratched the surface of my Claude budget. So I'm quite safe on the token front. Again, I've run 20 or 30 Claudes at the same time just fine, and it does tend to go through tokens quickly at that point. But small things like this, absolutely fine. Is the Udacity course? I don't know. Is it? If someone can answer that question, I've got no idea. Anyway, so you can see it's used a bunch of tokens, and now it's gone back, and this is the plan it's got. This is the plan. It's quite long, but it's detailed. And again, it's detailed for a reason. So you can see the plan here is to build this scorekeeping app. Here's the file structure. Build these files doing these things. Then it wants to have the exact code. Here's the player, here's the round, here's a match record, architecture, game state, history stuff, timers, injection of stuff, navigation flow, color palettes defined here, typography and similar. And then modifiers, and then celebrations designed. It's absurdly specific. And again, it's so that it can lose its context. It can throw it all away and read just this and know exactly what to do. That's why it's powerful. And in fact, what will happen here is, down here, you're going to see eventually after all this stuff, options are, just go ahead and clear the context and auto accept edits. And that is now safe. Wipe your memory. Get rid of it all. Free up the space to make the app, because that plan is so detailed, it can go ahead and make it. Now, with Xcode's version of this, there is a plan mode. It will plan stuff out, but it'll tend to go straight to execution. It'll go, right, let's go, and just start building it straight away. In Claude Code or Codex or similar, I much prefer to say, no, number 4. Here, I do number 4. Write this plan to plan.md in this directory so I can review it. So it's a great plan. I like it very much. I'm sure it's great, but it then gives it to me to look at. I can then go ahead and modify the plan, scan through it, so I can think, yeah, that's the right choice, good choice, yes, make edits freely whenever I'm ready, and then say, fine, go ahead and build up the plan. That is how I prefer to work. Now, as you're working, you might find, just go for it, go to town. I'm just slightly unsure about that. I want to know where the plan is somewhere else. I've seen it and reviewed it because I want to make sure it's getting it correct. George, where do you say on scale AI take all jobs to tool being used by devs? AI can't take all developer jobs. They need someone to drive it. I mean, Anthropic are hiring 100 developers right now, 100, and that's Anthropic, right? They're the ones making this stuff. Yes, allow plan.md, it's fine. If Anthropic even hiring 100 developers, I think it's pretty safe that everyone else is hiring too. We still need people to know what to build, to say, no, it isn't right. Write this test, read this code, whatever. There's still a lot of work to do. We can just do more faster now. Anyway, there's written plan. I can go ahead and read that file. So I'd go to example 2. And there's my plan, 13 kilobytes of plan. Read, adjust, futs, edit, whatever. Make it the way I want you to. And then I'm happy with it. And I can put that actually in source control if I want to and say, yes, that is now a good plan. I can pick it off somewhere else. How do I do Sonnet Opus? I've never used Claude Sonnet. Sorry. The Pro plan is pretty generous. You'll be okay, as long as you aren't using it full time. If it's your full-time job, you want to get a company to pay for Opus because it's not pay for less. Or Codex. I'm an equal opportunity love giver for LLMs. Anyway, so review the plan and then go, yes, go ahead, build it when you're ready. Again, it's telling me what to do, go ahead and build it, and it will do that same plan. So it's very, very similar, but now it's grilled me. It's going to build something much, much better. Now, again, I said one of the big things about we had Xcode had those tools baked into it to do things like screenshots and similar. We can get the same thing with Claude because Xcode has an MCP, the Model Context Protocol, built into it. We can use that same thing here. So a question here, if you use go ahead, will it use the same context? It probably would do, but I'd recommend compacting it first. You can just use compact and then say prepare to implement the plan like that to give it some custom compacting instructions. If you didn't do that, it would start immediately without clearing the context first, and you don't want to get through half a change and have it compact at that point. It's rather annoying because suddenly it might have forgotten a little thing and going to reread it. It's a lot slower. Anyway, so Claude can talk to Xcode. Right? You can say to Xcode, give me your information. So if I go to Xcode again over here and go to settings, down here is allow external agents to use Xcode tools. If you press this learn more button, it'll open up this thing here, which tells you how to give external tools like Claude Code access to Xcode. And literally they'll say, this line here, run this line for Claude or this line for Codex, like that. Just grab that thing, run it back. It'll install this thing which knows how to talk to Xcode. Now, it's not perfect. Claude's doing its best, Xcode's doing its best, but it's pretty darn good. I'm going to grab that line of code here and then paste it into here, and it'll think. And it'll try and connect Xcode. So I say, do you want to do this? Yes, please. Go ahead. Connect that. And when it connects, it'll want to restart like this. So just check Claude Code restart. So yes, I'll Control C twice like that. And then Claude. And so now Xcode's saying, aha, do you want to allow Claude Code to read Xcode? Yes, we do. That's fine. So now Claude Code is connected to this little symbol up here, this little agent activity. That means there's an agent talking to Xcode right now, which is cool. And we can ask it questions. Now, in practice, it might struggle at first, but it will get there. So we could say something like, what Xcode MCP tools do you have? Let's find out. So it's going to have a little think and give us a bunch of commands back, hopefully. And it's going to query Xcode directly and say, hopefully, ultimately, a bunch of stuff. There we go. So it can read all these things, and these are the same things that Xcode is doing internally. And you can see, yes, get the snippet being run, or read some file, or render preview. That's the best one. It renders any SwiftUI preview and gets a snapshot. So you could say, let's try it out. Use the render preview tool to render the current content view to snapshot.ping in the current folder. Current. So do you want to do this? Yeah, just crack on. Yes, go ahead, basically. It'll have a go. Yes, ask again for that command. Xcode command's fine. Yes, do ask again. It learns eventually, but it's a bit slow at first. So it's going to do that. It's run the preview. It's now copy to this directory here, hopefully, and then write the file, being well. Reading a file. Let's see what it looks like. And there we go. So the same thing it was doing in Xcode, just now on the command line. So on the command line here, you can see we've done things like queuing of messages, editing queuing messages, and similar. I should say, as you're typing stuff, you say, I want you to, reread the plan and do stuff with it. When you're typing out, you can press left to go back and forward. Of course you can. But if you press down the Option key or the Alt key on your keyboard, it goes by whole words at a time, which is much, much faster. You can press Control A or Control E to go to start end of a line. If you have multi-line stuff, you can just go up and down between lines. Makes it much easier. If you press Option and Delete, it deletes whole words at a time, so it's faster to delete stuff if you want to. So there are a handful of useful keyboard shortcuts to get around faster. What I would say is, when I'm in this kind of effectively vibe coding thing, a greenfield app idea, it's not serious, I'm not shipping it, I don't, at this point care about it, quite frankly. I tend to be very laissez-faire, very not worrying too much about GitHub and Git. I have Git repository always, but I've got a command I use, which is just GG, which just sends stuff to Git immediately. So I have a bunch of these things. I have like GP's git push, GC's git commit, GS's git status. And so these are old commands I use. Like if I was in like one of my projects, let's go to not that one. Let's go to work and then kickstart. It's a new iOS project. If I was making changes in here, I could do GS or git status and then get the answers back here straight away. Or I could say, actually, I want to do GP to push things up, or whatever. If I was to make a change somewhere, let's go to another project I can make changes in more freely without breaking stuff, like Hacktivate, my hacking app. If I go here and then do readme, no, let's just do vim test.txt. Hello, if you want to, like that. I've written a file here. GG adds all files, commits all files, pushes all files in one go. I use Hacktivate all the time. So someone's saying here, do I use AI in Hacktivate? Oh my word, yes. So Hacktivate is a game I'm making, which is designed to help you have fun learning cybersecurity. And almost all the code's written by me. It's something like 85% written by me. But a handful of things are viciously hard. For example, if you're in here, and you're doing some challenge somewhere, one of the tools you can use is Enigma machine, which is a cipher used by the Germans about 100 years ago, about 95 years ago now. And this was almost a one-shot in Claude to make an Enigma machine in Swift. That was taking me days to make. Well, that's hard to make. The mathematics behind that is hard. And Claude's like, nah, have a go. And it got it wrong a few times, but eventually it got there, and now it works very, very good. It works very well. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Sayed. It is a lot of fun to play. I recommend Hacktivate very much. It's on the Mac and iPad and iPhone. Anyway, so that kind of thing was Claude, an Enigma machine, or 100% Claude. I mean, I could never have written that. That was extraordinarily complicated. But almost everything else is me, because I want to get the UI right. I want the missions to be handcrafted. All the love is absolutely from me. And Claude comes in to do the horrors I don't want to do, quite frankly, like Enigma machine and similar. Anyway, let's quit that. So yeah, I do use it all the time. It's very, very helpful. Anyway, GG, if I just do which GG, you'll see what it does. Which GG. It adds everything, pushes up, and sends it off to GitHub instantly. So I'll just do here, GG, add example file for live stream. boom, off it goes. Done. and that's what I do when I'm in this sort of early state of noodling around. GG, push. I don't want to think about Git commit messages, just push it up constantly, because there's no risk. If in a day I go, actually, that kind of sucked, I delete the repository. Oh no. Right? If it ends up being something serious, fine, I slow down, I think about changes, I read the changes, but if it's I'm just noodling around, by all means, go to town. Just try things out, and you can't really go wrong. More questions. In the meantime, I want to mention one other thing, which is that there's a fun way of coding right now, which is it's got this stupid name, which is the Ralph Wiggum approach, and it's basically a bash loop. It launches Claude, does a thing, quits Claude. Launches Claude, does a thing, quits Claude. Launches Claude, does it again and again and again and again. It does it intentionally because of that context window. Now, you saw it has 200,000 tokens. It doesn't have 200,000 tokens because you already saw it reserves some for other things like tools and the compacting and similar. But as it fills up, it kind of gets more stupid. There's a lot of things to think about now. It's got 100,000 words to worry about now. It's a lot of words. It's going to get confused and do things wrong. The Ralph Wiggum approach basically quits Claude fully, relaunches it, fresh context window, does one thing, exits. Launch, exit, again, like relentlessly, and you can leave it running overnight. This is why I have 2 Claude Max plans. I'm actually making a thing right now for kids to help them learn how to use AI responsibly, and it's part of this site I make for schools. In my work, cybersecurity, Hacktivate. So I've got a lot of stuff in this Mac, folks. Config AI. So this is my AI stuff to teach kids responsible coding in here. And one of the things inside here was I wanted them to feel like they had some real world AI usage. And so I used Claude and Codex and Gemini to write a lot of stupid stuff. And you can see, like in these various folders, this is a cat bouncing a trampoline in a ball pit. Same thing. And then it's oil painting style. Same thing. And then it's photorealistic, same thing. So basically, there's like a bunch of prompts to make 25,000 pictures being made here. This is like a watercolor cat trampoline. You can go further and see, cat eating a massive ice cream sundae in space oil painting. And so the kids are shown, choose your subject. Do you want a cat? Do you want to scroll way down? Do you want a dragon? Way down. Do you want a flamingo? Way down. Do you want a hamster? Your subject, your location, your style, whatever, and then it makes the picture for them from one of my cached pre-made ones. This is pixel art, hamster, trampoline, top of a giant pizza. Anyway, as part of this, I made 25,000 pictures. I made these things. These are a bunch of voices reading out some stupid lines. It's one of my favorites. A computer once beat me at chess, but there was no match for me at kickboxing. But in a bunch of voices in different styles, they feel like they have some control of the AI. Then I used, and here, this is movies. So I made 900 movies, a dinosaur on a trampoline in a swimming pool full of jelly, and you'll get this kind of thing. But it makes the kids feel like they have the chance to have some control. And it's in a volcano now, and now it's in a birthday cake, and now it's on a train, whatever. Breakdancing. So the kids have a chance to noodle around. Anyway, the reason I'm saying this is because Challenge 64 did this. This is 4,800 standalone websites where the kids choose a topic. Like, do you want to be aquariums? Do you want to be backpacking? Do you want to be basketball, board games, book clubs, card tricks? They choose a topic, and they choose a style. I want to have bold and bright, or warm and cozy, or orange. And then basically, I left the Ralph Wiggum approach script running, saying, launch thing, make thing, exit. Launch thing, makes thing, exit. Basically overnight. It went through and just made a billion things. There's climate change, sepia, climate change, warm and cozy, climate change, bold and bright, bubble gum, whatever. And it makes, it's about coding now. It made 4,800 example stuff to go in here. Oh yes, look at this excellent AI pictures. So that's what Ralph's great at. You want a vast amount of work to be done. You leave it running overnight, leave it ralphing away to itself, and it'll do everything. If you do that with the main Claude, it will just stop. And the Ralph script for this, by the way, is very, very simple. It's almost stupidly simple. I love how stupidly simple it is. AI, pre-warm, there we go. So the Ralph script, it's a bit small, sorry about that. It just basically, it's a bash loop for I up to, in this case, 1,000, whatever you can choose. Keep going. There's a little pause in here for 5 seconds, so it can sit and think about its time. You can kill it if you want to. Otherwise, just keep working. Just keep going, building, and it did the whole thing. And that's what I'd have, because with this thing, you'd have like 30 or 40 Claudes at the same time, all working, and they're all independent. And they won't overlap, because in this case, it was independent HTML files, independent videos and pictures and stuff. And so they were all independent, and so it was great. Anyway, that's a Ralph Wiggum approach. You can literally say, just Ralph this whole thing, basically, and it will. It's astonishing. Questions. Why working on Claude hit a limit? Yeah, there isn't. No, you've run out of money, basically. You have the Pro plan, the Max plan, and the Max 20x plan, which I'm on currently, and they are limited by tokens. When you had 40 Claudes running, ralphing their way through HTML, I could use an entire Max 20 plan in about 7 minutes for 5 hours. I had to wait 5 hours sometimes to launch the next step, so I ended up leaving it about 5 of them running overnight. Was better. Anyway, question to get posted apparently. Sorry about that. There's issues with docs. Yeah, they do have issues with docs. Matt Thompson has Sosumi to this, which takes Apple URLs and basically flattens them to Markdown. I suspect that's going to expand to Apple as well. Generally, I was using. Someone asked me earlier, just for fun, for larks. I told Claude, here is 100,000 fake dollars, not real dollars, just fake dollars. And here's an API to talk to share prices, to do virtual share dealing with toy money. You must make money, otherwise I'll turn you off, basically. And it made $10,000 in about 8 hours. And sadly, annoyingly, I didn't turn it off in time, so the market closed, and so all its money is locked up in some random shares. I want to have some fun with crypto over the weekend, perhaps, but it can't because it's fake. Anyway, it's not real money. It's not real money. I'm nowhere near that rich. So the Claude can do that too if you want to. You can noodle around there if you want to. Yes, the reason I'm saying that, is because I was using an API from a company called eToro. And their API docs are fantastic. So the API docs they have, hook me into Claude Code or Cursor or stuff. Hook me in right here, MCPs across the board, and then they have Markdown files of all their stuff. So all their docs have Markdown pages too, which is fantastic. You just give it as Markdown. It can read Markdown in the URL directly. It's incredible. That's the Markdown file there. So Claude Code MD, boom. So every piece of documentation has a Markdown attached to it. Apple could do that very easily, and that'd be fantastic. I'd love to see that. Anyway, so the reason I'm asking that is because, yes, it's not great reading docs right now. Apple do feed it, like, liquid glass docs, for example. And there's some concurrency help in there too. But right now, it's not great, and so it's going to struggle with stuff. Anyway. How are we doing for our tokens? We're at 8%. Yeah, barely moved. It's fine. All right. I've talked a lot about Claude, okay? A lot about Claude. I want to say it is not the only AI out there, folks. There's a bunch of AIs out there competing for attention right now. Probably the most popular is Codex. Decompose directory, yes, very similar. Codex is really good. I mean, it's absurdly powerful. Now, I should say ahead of time, I tend to only use what's called extra high thinking. You don't have to. You can change that. You can say, no, I want to go to the model and go down from this thing to be a lower one or a cheaper one or a medium one. Honestly, high is great. High is really good. But I tend to use extra high. And what I normally do is I'll be working with Claude in AI 1, 2, and 3. Number 4, I'll say, no, you're Codex, and you review Claude's code. Now, Claude can do it itself. Claude can just say, review Claude again. Review your Oh, it's Xcode saying once again, yes, you may allow it again. Thanks, Xcode. Review all work so far. Whatever. You can do that. Of course you can. But having a second opinion from a different AI goes a long way. It has different ideas and similar. And as someone's saying, yes, high is usually very good enough. High is very, very good indeed. But because I'm using it primarily to code review, I want to get it exactly right. I'm like, screw it, extra high. Let's burn those tokens, baby. And you can see they are really giving away a lot of free tokens right now. 2x rate limits for the next few weeks, right? And so they're very keen to have folks try it out. So when I'm using it for code review, I'll say extra high, go to town. I want to know every detail. And the best bit is you can just paste its answer into Claude or paste Claude's answer into Codex. I would recommend you use two. Just if you want to use Codex full time, have Claude as a backup thing review, great. If you want to have the other way around, like I do, it's fine. Whatever works well here. But do have it review its own work. Literally, there's a shortcut built into Codex. You just say /review and then say what you want to do. And you can say, all uncommitted changes or a particular branch or a particular commit. I tend to use two. What I haven't done so far, please review that work there. It's my most common way of doing it. But it will go through your work and check it thoroughly and point out problems galore. I promise you. You might think Claude's written great work. It will have problems. It just will. It's not Claude's fault. It's just the way LLMs work. Codex will help find them, or vice versa, the other way around. But do have someone else review it. So I do like Codex very, very much. It's an extremely good model. I should say extra high, even though it's good. Holy cow, is it slow. But that's great. It's slow because it's thorough. It will spend 20 minutes sometimes reviewing not small, but a moderate-sized code change. Some folks said it can work for a lot longer than that with significant problems, but it will work through it. It'll work for a very, very long time and find problems and find solutions and similar. Hey, Michaela. So that's Codex. And then the child, unacknowledged squib below the stairs is Gemini. It's, of course, look, this would have been beyond our dreams 18 months ago, the power of Gemini, okay? It would have been through the roof good. Right now, it is not quite where Claude and Codex are, quite frankly. It is very, very good, but it's going to struggle. And Gemini, is the only one I've seen completely melt down. Like, it's got into a loop where I should fix this problem. I'll tell the AI to fix it. I am the AI. Fix it. No, you fix it. But I'm the model. No, you're the model. And it's like having a nervous breakdown in front of your very eyes. So Gemini occasionally gets stuck in these bizarre loops. I don't use it. I'll be honest with you, I don't use it. I use it for images and I use it for video. It's good at that too. None of it is fantastic. The API is very, very nice for Google Cloud stuff. But the actual Gemini coding thing, at this point, Codex is going to beat it. I think, honestly, Claude beats it too. Whew. Okay. I'm going to take a sip of water. It's been a long... So how are we doing so far? Oh, wow. We're really taking a long time. I apologize, folks. Well past an hour already. Let's change topic a little bit. Let's talk about writing better code. So you've seen a whole bunch of code been written, including the probably slightly nuclear chess app we made earlier. Claude and GPT and Codex, they're large language models. That means they're trained on large amounts of language. And the clue's right in the name, right? Large language. They're trained on millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of words, like trillions of words, right? And that means that their knowledge is naturally biased towards things they've read more often. So when Apple announces iOS 27, which we can say now because we know it's going to be a yearly based release from now on, it's going to have some new stuff in there. And it'll be new to Claude. It can have a go at it, but it isn't trained on it. It hasn't seen my site or Donnie Wiles' site or Natalia Pamperova's site, whatever. It hasn't seen other work out there teaching it how to use it effectively. And so it's going to struggle in a lot of places. And naturally, it means it's going to, with the Swift, the way it's going forwards constantly every year, change. Swift UI, change. It's hard to keep up. And so it's going to write some pretty ropey code sometimes. You can make it do better. And you can see straight away, like, that Claude, out of the box, loves hard coding font sizes. I don't know why. It loves saying, yes, use the exact weight bold here or medium here. It loves doing things like buttons with no labels attached. You can't see for VoiceOver what they're attached to it for. You saw it earlier doing dispatch queue main async after, because it's trained on that, because Swift concurrency has only been around since Swift 5.5. So we had like 7-8 years of Swift come along before we had Swift concurrency, maybe 7 years perhaps. And so it's trained majority on pre-Swift concurrency code, on older side stuff here. And so it's going to make a whole bunch of pretty terrible code. You can do better. And I recommend you do better. Okay, and one way you can do better is to have an agents file in your project or in your home directory that provides it with guidance. And you can have more than one. You can have an agents file for all your work here, an agents file just for this bit here, agents file this bit here. You can customize it and have many agents files, and it can bring them together. And if you have an agents file for your project and it says something different to an agents file in your home directory, the project takes priority. So it's kind of overriding it, as it were. It lets you say, no, this one has priority here. So for SwiftUI, for things like this, are just horrific, quite frankly. Honestly, this is really grim. That is grim. That should be a label, quite frankly, of the text being hidden, at least with VoiceOver, so you can read it correctly. That's the extravagant animation there. This kind of thing is grim. It does its best, but it's not going to be great. And you can see it's put a lot of files in the same folder, a lot of structures and so forth. It's not brilliant. So on GitHub, I have a better way of doing this. If you go to Two Straws and go to Swift Agents, this thing here, this contains an agents.md file, which is a generic name for these files full of instructions. Now, Claude, because Claude's special little snowflake, likes this file to be called claude.md. And this, put into your home directory or your project directory as claude.md or agents.md, it'll be found and used. And it's used in Claude Code, it's used in the Codex app, it's used in Xcode, it'll use it there as well. They're all valid. They'll all be used happily. Now, this particular one, I use a lot. I use it a lot in my own work because it has all my preferences kind of baked into it. So when I run SwiftUI, just that on the command line, I now have a Claude MD file in here with those instructions baked in. That command, which SwiftUI just takes this file from my Swift Agents repository, agents.md, and moves it to claude.md, puts it in place across the board. Now, if I only did SwiftUI, I wasn't doing, because I do SQL, I do PHP, I do web stuff, whatever. If I was only doing one platform, one framework, whatever, I would actually put that file into Claude directly. You actually move this file, you'd say here, copy claude.md, and you want to use ~/.claude, and it'll copy it to there. So now that is in my Claude folder for every project ever. If I use Claude to do anything in the future, it'll read that markdown file and go, oh, well, you want to use SwiftUI, do you? And that might cause problems eventually if I'm trying to do some random thing that's not SwiftUI based, or I'm trying to demonstrate something without SwiftUI. So I tend to use it on a per project basis because I find it works a little bit easier for me. I can control it, I can edit it and say, oh yes, here, do this, but here, do that. And so I tend to put this thing into the folders directly. That works very well for me. And that now will be honored. Now, if I had modified this somehow, if I had opened this file up and let's modify Claude here, let's say in this thing, it is very important that when you make new classes, structs or enums, you make every one of them named after some kind of ferret pun, whatever. And it's going to do it. It'll do its best to honor that. Keep in mind, this has to be read by Claude. So this file here, everything you write inside here has to be used by Claude. It's sent off to Claude saying, do this and do this and this. And you can see things like, concurrency will be in here somewhere. Concurrency. So please use modern Swift concurrency. Don't use manky old stuff. Dispatch queue main async. Do not use that. Is baked into this file. And so this kind of choice it's made, with the animation code, it wouldn't happen. It would go, oh, I'm not going to do that. But you've also kind of eaten into 5 kilobytes of your budget for every new Claude you fire up. That's going to be read in by the thing. And also your system prompts being read in too, the one in your home directory being read in. And so you want to be careful, keep them fairly small, keep them fairly light, and they'll be applied absolutely everywhere. So that's agents files. I recommend them very, very highly. Put your ideas, put the way you like to write code in there. This is my agents file, link to it here in the chat. Give it a try. Try it out. Customize it for you. Download that, modify it, put it into your project folder, and please use it. Give it a try, and you'll find immediately the quality of code picks up. It just gets better and better and better. So that's agents file, and they're very, very good. And you'll find they will literally help Claude write better code for you. If you want to go further, you can actually go beyond agents and use a thing called a skill. Skills are bigger. Skills are, I know, right? Honestly, it will deny. I say tell it right. It'll go, no, it doesn't, because it wasn't trained on it. It was trained months ago, before this stuff came out. So it's going to struggle. Anyway, agents are great. They are very, very good at helping you write better code, and they're per project, which is fantastic. If you want to go further, there's another thing called Swift Skills. Oh, sorry, Swift Skills. Just skills generally. And skills are targeted agents at particular things. They do exact things inside your code base. So you might say, run this skill for documentation, run this skill for code commenting, run this skill for whatever you want to. You can design all skills you want to and have it work very, very well. And it will apply it on a run basis. So run this skill now, run that skill now, do this thing now, do that thing now. It'll work its way through them one by one by one as you ask for it, which is nice, right? You can review my code using this skill. And that works very, very well. In the grand scheme of things, iOS isn't as big a development platform as other platforms are, let's say, like JavaScript and Python, for example. And so there aren't really that many good skills out there for Swift developers. We haven't got that many at this time. So I encourage you, have a go and make some. Have a go and noodle around. Try and make your own skill. And see how you get on, because you might find it works very well. You might find you can make it do clever things that help you out, and then contribute it back to the community. Let other folks use it too. But have a go. Use some Emily's in my chat. Yeah, good. By all means, please use the Markdown files. They're very, very helpful at trying things out, being good. Barry, as well as a Swift UI skill from Swiftly, use that. Yes, it's a skill. Yes, there are skills out there already, folks. And I don't know how to say this really. Give me a minute. I'm thinking, collecting my thoughts slightly. I spent a lot of time putting this kind of thing together, this Agents MD file here, based on my experiences. It's been, a year or more now with Claude and whatever tools. Seeing it get things wrong repeatedly made me want to write this kind of agents file. These are based on my experience. A lot of sweat and blood, quite frankly, went into this kind of tool to get it right. And I care about it. I worked really hard to get this right, to make it the best I could do. And Barry, there are tools out there, folks, and you can just go and look it up. You can just go and find GitHub. Is he Swiftly? No, he's not. He's nope, that's Jonathan Conlin. Sorry, AVD Lee. Okay. Where's repositories? Okay, so here's the repositories pinned. Swift concurrency, core data. He's got a Swift UI one. somewhere. I don't know. Where's the repositories in this thing? I use repositories. Oh, there are repositories. SwiftUI agent skill. There you go. And it's got 1.6 thousand stars. And you can read it. This is Markdown. It's just plain old Markdown. And read it. And see what you think. See what you think. Just read it through and see what you think. I don't want to get like angry about this, folks, but I'm sitting here writing out my stuff. Always use foreground style, not foreground color. Always use clip shape, not corner radius. Always use tab, not tab item. And then agent skill from Antoine. Use foreground style, not foreground color. Use clip shape, not corner radius. Use tab API here. Use button, not tap gesture. Good idea. Don't use tap gesture. Where's that come from? Command F in my file here on tap gesture. Oh, never use tap gesture. Use buttons. And so, and like he's got references galore. You can go and read about the things he's made with his thing, and I don't understand it. Like I don't understand what he's trying to do. Yeah, it was strange. You can read through his stuff, his ideas, and just see how many like came from my stuff. Like place view logic into view models or similar, so it can be tested. I'm going to Command C that, Command F my file. Oh look, the exact same words. And then what happens? I don't get too angry, folks. I really don't. He then says in the license, copyright C Antoine Vandelay. I genuinely thought he was my friend, and this happened. And I just feel like a gut punch that he's just taken my stuff and then just said, oh, made by these people here with articles from whatever. Yeah, sorry. Look, I don't want to dwell on it. It makes me, yeah, doesn't matter. Yeah, I hate it. I'm disappointed. That's where it's come to. But I don't want to dwell on it. Now I'll take a drink of water. Sorry, folks. I genuinely believed that we as the iOS community were better than that. That we wouldn't just take stuff, not ask. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to dwell on it. I have my own SwiftUI skill. I haven't released it. It's just for me. Maybe I will release it. It is, I call it SwiftUI Pro. It's here. And it takes my stuff, like my actual stuff, made by me, not, swiped, and breaks it down based on things I care about. Like here's accessibility stuff, for example. Or here is data or design or hygiene or navigation or performance or whatever, using my stuff, just, written by me. I might open source it. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that was a bit of a random rant. Sorry. Let's focus on the good stuff, which is why you're here. No one's here for horrible stuff. Bob, did he do this? I mean, if AI did it, it would have to summarize it in exactly the same way, which would be unusual. AI tends to rewrite things as it goes. Anyway, let's stay in the positive stuff, shall we, folks? You can make skills. I might even open source my skill, and you can try it out if you want to. Or make your own skills. It's fun, it's fresh, it's open, it's okay to try. All right, let's focus on stuff. So you've seen ways we can use AI to write stuff from scratch. You've seen ways we can do AI to review code by just saying, please review my code. And it might have a go. It'll have a go, and it will find things. I've shipped stuff from years ago and said, review my code. And it's gone, oh, there's bugs here, here, and here. Like, damn, that's been in production for like a year now. It's found it and fixed it for me. And that's remarkable. I love that. And even if you're like, no, I never want to use AI to write my code, fine. I absolutely respect that view. But try code review. Can you spot any bugs? Can you spot any edge cases I hadn't considered? Give it a go. So I recommend you give it a try. You can also, if you want to, use AI to write unit tests. And what you'll find is it's very likely to write lots of tests. Very often not great tests. Like it'll go, I've written 100 tests. And it's not necessarily guaranteed to be great at that. And yeah, is what it is. You can try it, but give it some direction. I do think you want a human in the loop. Don't, like, some folks are like, my project has 95% code coverage. That means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. You might have 1,000 tests and they all test objects being made and destroyed. You want 100 useful tests beat 1,000 useless tests. So give it some direction. For code review, check out this. Check out edge cases. Check out performance. Check out scaling. Check out order as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. How will it scale well? Whatever. Yeah, it's good at that. But give it specifics. Next up, I want to mention other tools. So I've talked briefly quite a lot about Claude and Codex and briefly about Gemini. There are other tools out there as well. You can go ahead and say in ChatGPT or Midjourney, they're wonderful tools. They're helping you with stuff. But please make ChatGPT fight you. If you don't do that, it'll say, you're absolutely right. Again and again and again. It's like, just, dude, push back. Fight back. Tell me that's a bad idea. And I'm going to show you how I do that, okay? When I launch ChatGPT here, this is my GPT. I should say my kids use my GPT, by the way. And so you can see this is Charlotte making her next game. She's trying to make this dice game from Hacking Swift Plus. She's trying to make it look good. And that's great. So she's using ChatGPT fully. Having it in my account helps me police it a little bit. I can see if they're trying to cheat at school homework, for example, which is helpful. But what you want to do is, in preferences, or settings, sorry, these days, you want to go to personalization, and then here, give it custom instructions. Make it fight you. This thing here, that is my custom instruction I use for absolutely everything in the thing. I'll paste into the chat area here. I can't, rat's too long. I'll paste it in like 2 chunks in the thing here. And you can have that and use it in your own stuff. It will fight you every step of the way. It'll be brutally honest with you every step of the way. That's a bad idea. Here's where it'll fail. Try this, consider this, whatever you want to. Otherwise, it will just glaze you. It'll say it's a brilliant idea. And this basically forces it into antagonistic mode. It forces it into fighting mode. And it means when you're bouncing ideas off it, how about this, it will push back hard and say, this bit's good, this bit's where it falls down. Try this instead. And it will help you navigate your app idea through. Otherwise, it'll say, what? You want to make a to-do app for cats? No one thought of that. Brilliant idea. Right? Make it fight with you. And you can see I also use the efficient tone. Stay straight to the point, not trying to witter on at me warmly, whatever it calls it these days. So GPT, again, very powerful tool for working with ideas. Great for helping you refine app ideas. Oh, it didn't post both parts. Oh no, sorry. There's only that bit there. It's not really a lot to it, You can see it on the screen. Just zoom in and pause it, whatever. You can figure it out. But make it fight you. It'll help your app be stronger. It'll spot the weak points. It'll spot the parts that are problematic. It'll spot the parts that will be stronger, the parts that are shaky, the parts that don't make sense, the parts you're lying to yourself, and help you refine it. So I recommend that very, very much for GPT. I also use Midjourney. In fact, both my kids use Midjourney as well. My wife uses Midjourney as well. We're all using Midjourney. And so I've got a Midjourney here. This is not myself, it's other people's stuff. And you go to create, you can see my wife's working on a puzzle game right now, and she's experimenting with different art styles. This is other art styles. This is my elder daughter Sophie. She's working on another game right now, a sprite kit, doing some styles here. And so you can create wonderful artwork here and then give it to Claude and say, make that or use this, whatever. It helps you do better, helps you get faster stuff, and gives you a good place to start. And we use this a lot. We've got a lot of history. One of the stupid things I made from I don't remember the kids AI thing. I made this whole website called Barksmiths, which is a fake website, which is at the bottom here, cybersecurity skills course, about dressing your dog. And you can get dog onesies and dog hoodies and dog jackets. And Midjourney, of course, made a whole bunch of pictures of dogs in very cool hoodies, actually. Well done. Very nice hoodie. I find it very, very good for that. And again, sometimes it's pure ideation. Sometimes it's like, just have a go, see what you think. And you go, that's horrific, well done. And you can see Charlotte working through ideas with GPT here, trying to say, put the credits or make it brighter or put the about page in there. She's just noodling around, trying things out, seeing what she thinks, and eventually gets some ideas. There you go. So just trying things out. And it lets you brainstorm. Showed me how this might look. And it looks good. Somewhere in there, Michael, I can't say where, but look, Aria. The actual dog's name is in there somewhere. It's made with love. Anyway, so yeah, Midjourney is fantastic for that, for helping you come up with ideas. Again, it's a brilliant way to start firing off ideas in your head, which you might go, that sucks, that sucks, that sucks. And that's helpful too. Because sometimes knowing what you don't want to build is half the battle. You can then go, okay, well, these ideas will suck, I'll do this one instead. And so even if it isn't helpful for you like directly and immediately, it's still helpful to get you moving. So that's other tools I use. I rely a lot on GPT for refining ideas. Push it, make it fight with you. And then Midjourney for coming up with, logo ideas or design ideas and similar, which I might hate. But again, that's half the problem, right? Now, what you'll find is as your projects grow bigger and bigger and bigger, you'll start to hit, oh, hello, dogs. You'll start to hit a significant problem, which is, did you see a dog in Barksmiths, did you? Suspicious. These are my two dogs. These are real ones. That's a real Aria there. This is Luna, her sister. That's right. Good dogs. As your code gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it starts to get harder for AI to keep up with it because you've got a huge, huge project. Come on. Hey, wait a minute. Come on. There you go. Come on. Grab it. Right, out you go. Enough treats. Skedaddle. Go. As a project gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it starts to get harder for AI to work with it. And so it starts to become really, really critical. You plan ahead. And so if you look at so my apps, for example, work, kickstart. If I ask it how many lines of code are in this thing right now, it's using clock, it'll count them all and it'll say 109,000 lines of Swift code are in there right now. Or if I went to Hacktivate, that app I showed you earlier, that's going to have, 58,000 lines of Swift and then 35,000 lines of PHP, whatever. So there's lots of code to manage here. And what will happen is it'll burn through your context window so much faster. Now, again, I have the Claude Max plan. It's very, very hard for me to hit that plan. I'm more likely to hit the weekly limit than the 5-hour slot limit. Come on, dogs, off you go. Enough. No more treats. You had 2 already. Skedaddle. It's very hard for me to hit that sort of 5-hour window, but I'll often come close to the sort of week-long window. And so when you have these larger code bases, it becomes much more important to help Claude or help Codex or help Gemini find its way around. Make a document describing it, or have Claude make a document describe it. Make one of them do it, saying, here's the directory structure, here's how this thing works, here's where this thing is, here's why this choice has been made already. It's like your plan for the long term. I think Rudrak Riam, who's done a lot of wonderful, wonderful work with AI in Swift and foundation models in Swift and GPT and OpenAI, whatever, with Swift, wonderful guy, very friendly too. Go and check him out, buy his books too. He actually says to make it a journal, tell it over time, track this thing so you know what it's doing over time. And it's very, very similar here. Tell it what it's doing, the choices it's made, why it did that, and so it remembers for the future. And in fact, the Ralph Wiggum approach I mentioned earlier has that actually in there as well. Keep track of what you've done, explain what happened, and move on. Spec-driven coding, yeah, and recently the thing from Anthropic saying, we've made a C compiler with only $20,000 of tokens working for like 2 weeks. And it wasn't a great C compiler, but it at least vaguely worked. I'm sorry, Rudrank Riam. I'm sorry. And firstly, great. It shows you, I think it's very worth reading their report on that because it shows you up front the problems with LLMs. It didn't do a great job. It took 20,000 tokens and 2 weeks, whatever. It took a long time and still wasn't perfect by a long way. And that is for a C compiler, which A, isn't far off being taught in many university school curriculums because they're kind of a standard builder compiler problem. B, has been around for 60 years or something, and C is extremely well spec'd out open source code. You know, you look at GCC or LLVM, we know how these things are built. They've been built many times previously, and so it had a lot of code to read from, a lot of specs to read from, and it still struggled because the size of it is so big. But still, EGH is correct. Specs matter. Give it specs to work with, it'll do a much better job of making them happen for you. So that's true here too. As your project's bigger and bigger and bigger, put documents in there explaining what it does. There's one here in Hacktivate, there's one in Kickstart, just explaining what these things do. So if I ask for a bug fix somewhere or a code review somewhere, it doesn't go, where's that file going to be? It just goes through and uses it and finds it very quickly. What else do I want to talk about? Well, I'm very conscious of your time. Sorry, folks. I planned like an hour and 90 minutes. I'm already approaching 2 hours. I apologize for that. What do I say before I wrap up? Firstly, please don't get locked in with the AI bros. The first LLM you try isn't just the best one out there. Next week, Opus, whatever ships. Week after, Codex, whatever ships. The week after that, whatever ships. It's extremely fast. This video is what? This is the 21st of February, 2026. I think in a month from now, you'll be like, that video's almost out of date. Or 6 months, perhaps. It's that quick. It's evolving so very quickly. And that means what I've shown you today is going to change. And certainly in June this year, when Xcode 27 ships, it'll change again. A lot. And that's okay. Don't just get locked in and just, I only use Gemini. Why would you do that? It's a weird thing to do. You know, find what works for you, what vibes well with you, and stick with it. Have fun. And then in 6 months' time, you can change, folks. You can change your mind. Second thing I want to say is, I said it earlier, I want to repeat it. I genuinely believe you've got to keep an AI in the loop, a human in the loop, sorry. The AI is great at doing a whole bunch of work. Have a human. Just go, is that the right choice here? Is this the right choice here? What about this? Just a second guess the AI. This is the right thing because, yes, AI can write, you saw it do a whole chess thing, not brilliantly, but it got there in the end, to make it a thing. But a human comes in and says, actually, no, the soul of my app, the heart of my app is this. It's this. And that belief, that direction, that idea is only you. Because AI has no idea what matters. AI has no idea what soul is. It hasn't got a soul, okay? Even though there is soul.md from Peter Steinberger, there is no soul. It has no idea what's going on. That's what you bring to the table. All that love, all that care, all that polish, all that refinement. That's what you bring to the table. Please don't let that be delegated to AI. It will do a terrible job. Last, I guess, before I can do some questions, I'll say again, I said it earlier, I want to repeat it very clearly. Xcode team, well done. Honestly, you know, I look on the App Store and I, look up Xcode and I just see a wall of, well, I call it crap. 3 stars, 2.9 stars, whatever. And it's not a big team. It's not a big team. They do their absolute best and they're working very hard to get better and better and better. And I honestly believe Xcode 27 is going to be huge and I cannot wait to see it. Genuinely, they're working so hard and I reckon they're going to pull a massive rabbit out of their hat again this year in June. I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun. I hope I get to see it sooner rather than later. Write a review, or I got it ready. See, I've already written this. 5-star, gets better every year. This is a while ago, though, wasn't it? This is I remember what it was, but I have a 5-star review. So yeah, it's all in there. Submit again. Have an updated review for the Xcode 26.3. I honestly, well done to the team, and the work they're doing right now is through the roof. They do such great work, and it's gonna get better and better and better. This year's gonna be epic. I cannot wait to see it. I'm just so psyched for it. Okay, that was like a full almost 2 hours of me mostly just fire hosing you in the face with Xcode, Agentic stuff, and Claude, and Gemini, and Ralph Wiggum, and agents, and occasionally skills. Apologize for that middle bit. Any questions? How can I help you along? I'd love to help you out and answer what I can here. Folks seem very happy. Any updates on the Swift AI playbook? So that is my new book, which is not about building with AI, but about having AI in your stuff. So you go to store Swift AI playbook available now, and right now chapter 1's there, and it's a massive chapter just on foundation models. Chapter 2 is on Create ML. It's half finished. It'll ship tomorrow, I believe, with an update for the first part as well, because our foundation models in 26.4 has gotten a lot better. You can now do things like track token usage and stuff, which is very, very cool. Which model is the best Swift UI? You're going to get, Ian, a whole bunch of answers. And what will happen is AI bros will say, my LLM's the best one because I've chosen it and it's therefore blessed by me. Look, folks, try them out. Which one do you vibe with? Which one feels like the right thing for you? Which one does the right speed or feel or code for you? Try them yourself. I tried a bunch of them, settled on Claude, but I might change my mind in the future. I'm open to changing my mind freely. What I would say is that the Anthropic team and the OpenAI team aren't doing a particularly good job of DevRel right now. I hear from none of them ever. At least in Gemini, you have people like Peter Frieser, who does great work. He's trying very hard to encourage folks to try things and noodle around and experiment. He's doing a smash hit job for Gemini. Anthropic and OpenAI, they're kind of, they're just noodling around by themselves, navel gazing a bit, I think. That's what it feels like to me. And I think both of them need to do a lot better to reach folks, show them how to do better, how to ship better stuff, make better stuff, use their tools, of course, it's their DevRel, do better stuff, but they're not there yet. They're both kind of lagging a little bit on that front. Should I build apps without AI after the 100-day course? Yes, you absolutely should. Use your skills. Build something great that you love to build, that feels great to you, that solves a problem for you, and then say, hey, AI, review my code. Hey, AI, how can I do this hard thing I couldn't do otherwise? But you've got that fundamental in place and know why things work the way they do, what dynamic type is, what voiceover is, what screen resolutions are, why they matter, how a split view for navigation can be different on iPad and iPhone. Without those bits of knowledge, it's much harder to drive LLMs to get great results. Nice job keeping AI. Obelix is my number one AI bot reporter on the forums. They are relentless, and are at the point now where they're trying to be helpful for a few posts and then post spam, thinking I won't ban them. But no, we Obelix and we ban them regularly from the forums. Hacktivate, good for our tribe. I don't know what that means. Hacktivate, honestly, is probably the best app I've ever written. It is a joy. It's a game where you have to hack the computer, and not like fake hacking, like, oh no, I'll buy Password Cracker 3, not Password Cracker 2. You've got to actually solve problems to break the computer and do things. It starts off quite easy, like, here's an audio one, or here's a logging one, or here's an image one, and it gets harder and harder and harder and harder. And there's things in here like Linux terminal stuff, or base64, or encryption. It's just vast and growing quickly. So I recommend you try that out and see what you think. This one here, Itty Bitty. I love this one. Itty Bitty. So this one, you're given a challenge. I'm not sure you can hear it on my speakers or not. You probably can't hear it. I apologize. Speaker up. In this one, you have an audio. It's like this.
Our next target is New York City.
It says our next target is New York City, but they're based in the UK, so something's wrong. Can you find it? And the tutorial here walks you through how to solve this. They use a technique called least significant bit steganography. So when you extract all the bits from this and futz with them, you realize they're hiding data in the audio. And when you visualize the bits, and it'll teach you down here what to do, visualize the bits, it spells out the word Cardiff hidden away in the audio. So it's teaching you real crypto security techniques as a game, basically. Anyway, it's so much fun. Where off? So who owns AI generated code? That's currently an open question. And so right now it's looking like, basically, the thing around copyright for AI is transformation. There's been a couple of suits about this so far, and it's very, very early, but it appears to be about transformation. If you take, I was going to say my agent's file, if you take one of my books and put it online, without transformation, like my words, that's not allowed. That's the same stuff. You can't do that. It's illegal against the law. If you train an LLM on my words and the words of 1 million other people, actually more than that, probably 50 million other people, and transformatively create new stuff, that is currently looking like it's going to be allowed in copyright law. And so it makes things complex. Like when I release code into the MIT license, for example, it should be credited to me. AI learns from it, transformatively makes it. Is it close enough, not close enough? I don't know. It's kind of iffy right now. It's not decided. It's up in the air. What I would say is there is currently, literally paying out right now, the Anthropic copyrightsettlement.com for authors, because Anthropic took a bunch of stuff without asking and have settled. They said, okay, we're going to pay out everyone we scanned, scanned, not scammed, scanned. I said scanned, definitely scanned. And I'm in here. My old books are in here. If you look at Paul Hudson, you'll find me. Years ago, I wrote a bunch of books on Linux. Oh, apparently I didn't. I filed a thing already. Probably hasn't seen it anymore because I filed it. Did I put it in the right place? Title? Author, sorry. I'm being silly. Paul Hudson. They took my books and scanned them into, there you go, Ubuntu Unleashed, Fedora Unleashed, PHP in a nutshell, whatever. They just scanned the whole text and trained on it, and now they're paying out, which is very nice of them. That might happen for code. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know is the answer, but it's about transformative. More questions. Sorry. React Native and so native is just so much fun. Firstly, I love writing native code. I'll know when I'm bored of life with coding because I won't want to go to like file new project in Xcode anymore. I just get, whenever I do that, file new project, I'm just like fizzing with energy. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't love it anymore. And yeah, I love writing native code. React's an interesting one because if you look at like the Claude app, this is the Claude app on my Mac here is running on my other Claude Max account here, which I'm trying to cancel actually. You see it's kind of loading. Okay, it's finally loaded. My plan ends 70 days because this is my other one, my spare one. And it didn't launch very quickly, right? It takes time to load and then kind of took time to appear. And if you look at what it's doing in Activity Monitor, like for CPU, it's 170% CPU. Just on what it's doing, it's just sitting there doing that, and it's just 164% of CPU time. And it's Electron. I don't know what evil they are doing to use so much CPU time constantly. And then it'll be in here somewhere too. But memory, presumably, there's Claude, 2 megs. That's not bad, actually. That's not bad. But it'll get more of a time as it kind of vaguely works. It'll have a go at doing stuff. Couldn't connect to stuff. Cool. And so the Claude currently isn't great. And so they're using Electron. And that's, the people making AI stuff. And they're still using Electron for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, the Codex app is also Electron. Not to try and dump on Electron. And better. Like, you can write bad software in SwiftUI or an Electron, and you can write good software in both. The Codex team appear to have worked very hard to make their version of Electron run significantly faster, which is great. Someone did mention, I saw it fly past real fast, that the ChatGPT app is written in SwiftUI. It is. It is. I love that. It makes it really, really fast. What kind of salmon salad ideas from one of my kids, presumably. Which one is unpoisonous to dogs? Oh, my children. So it is. It's SwiftUI, which is great. I love that, and it does make it obviously a lot faster, more native. You can see it's all liquid glassy and stuff, which is very, very nice. And so the team have done a really, really good job there. Sometimes it isn't quite right. Sometimes I don't know how many people are actually working this right now. But if I did like, how do I solve? How do I use dynamic type in SwiftUI? Sorry. Give me example code. Be brief. It'll come from code, and you can press copy and paste in. Now, what I've noticed, annoyingly, if you press here, nothing happens. And the annoying thing is, because I know it's SwiftUI, I know why nothing happens. This bit works, and the copy button works, but the bit in the middle doesn't work because they haven't got content shape of rect. So, Javier Soto, Nacho Soto, people I love very much, they work at OpenAI. If you're watching this stream in the future, please use content shape rect on that button because it's SwiftUI code. I know exactly what the problem is. Please make me click in here. I was about to click in the exact part of the thing I want to copy. Yeah, it's a small thing, but it's SwiftUI, so hey. Anyway, what else are we going to look at? How I try Xcode. Xcode Build MCP is a wonderful project. I think it's got acquired by Sentry, I want to say. by Sentry. And so, yeah, they do wonderful work there. So it's fantastic. And I'm really glad to see Campsoft do so well. So that's great. And I want to see more. I want to see more tools from Swift developers for Swift developers. Come on, folks. Get out there and build stuff. Whew. What else? What else? I'm sorry. I tend to just talk to myself, folks. You know I do. Skills. So skills and agents are very different things. An agent's file, like I had my Claude MD file, which I recommend you use, just sits in your repository or in your home directory. Every piece of work that happens is run through that Claude Code. Every single one. So check this, read the file, apply the thing every single time. And it's applied in Xcode too. You have that Claude file in your home directory or in the project directory, it'll be read by Xcode automatically as well as it's working. All future stuff. Skills are more sort of done, now run this skill. Now review my code. Now do this. Now do this as a one-off thing by you. That's the best way to use skills. They work very, very well for that. They're done when you want them. So you wouldn't want to have a huge skill running all the time. It creates, context problems. You want to keep your skills, again, fairly short, longer than agents perhaps, but still fairly short. And then run them when you need them. Like, I'm ready now. Before I commit this thing, run the skill, check the code, send it off. And it's great for that. And, in my agents file, I'm like, please, make sure SwiftLint comes back clean. Just keep the code in a hygienic, clean state. It works very, very well for that. Any more questions, folks? Sorry, I'm at the 2-hour mark. Apologize, it's been longer than I anticipated. So I'm glad you all seem to have enjoyed it. I think folks learned a lot along the way, which is great. There's always new things to learn. I'm learning new things every day. Any thoughts on OpenClaw? The only thought I have about OpenClaw, and I've known Peter since like 2018. Okay, I had dinner with him like in October in India. He has talked in the past. He's had a hard time. Okay, he's talked in public at conferences about some of the hard problems he's faced. The only view I have on OpenClaw is this: I desperately want Peter to be happy. That's it. And if that's through work, if that's through going home and shutting down and hanging out with friends, whatever, I don't really care. I just want him to be happy because he's had such a hard time. I want him to have some joy in his life, so that when he's finished with OpenClaw, he's like, yeah, I'm happy. That's all I want to hear. And OpenClaw, I'm sure, is great, but I'm very much a people person. I want Peter to be happy. Are there any cool Swift events in the UK? Yes, there are. In fact, I'm going to one. I've just been approved to speak there. I'm not sure I can say that yet. Sorry. IOSF UK. This is an event which is unparalleled elsewhere in the world. I don't know why no one else has swiped this idea yet. It works so well. It takes place in Aberystwyth University. It's the middle of nowhere, quite frankly. Sorry if you're from Aberystwyth, of Wales. I live near Wales. It takes me 3 to 4 hours to get there. Okay? And you get to the town and you get this up to the university where it takes place. And it takes place outside of university term. All students have gone home. So you're staying on campus in student accommodation in the lecture theatres, hanging out there for 4 days straight. And what it means is every day you have breakfast together, dinner together, you play games and have beers in the evening, you chat and make friends. And because you're all in this place by yourself, away from, literally the rest of the world, like 4 hours away, you come knowing no one and you leave with friends. You leave with actual great friends. And you look at the pricing. The pricing's ridiculous. Is it open yet? Okay. So you look at the pricing here. It is £160 for an early ticket, up to £220 here. And then you look at the accommodation down here. It is £220 for 3 nights. And it includes full breakfast. They feed you and you meet people and you get stuff. It is just... I just wish more conferences took this idea, like get a venue somewhere in the middle of nowhere, get folks there, hang out, and actually make friends. Because you can learn code on YouTube or buy one of my books, please do. But actually hanging out with people and sharing code and sharing excitement and seeing their code and sharing ideas, that's the real heart of it. And so I love events like this one where people genuinely do make friends. Even they arrive knowing no one and leave with actual friends because they've spent so much time together. I've played so many games late at night in the evenings there, like board games and stuff. It works well. Paul, come to NS London. I would love to come to NS London. They never talk to me. That's okay, but I'd love to come there. I'd love to talk. Visit and say hello at least. Anyway, sorry. How to keep my content when low for a large code base. I said this earlier, I guess Chaba 13, you provide it with a file, like a table of contents. Here's what all the files are. Here's my structure. Here's why I've made these choices. It's like a reverse plan going back the other way. Keep that around, because that will guide it in the future. You say, make this change. You've got a gigantic project. Doesn't matter. It'll go in and find the exact point. Now, get into leaks and stuff, but there's been a thing from Mark Gurman saying that Apple use Anthropic extensively. If they can do it on the UIKit code base, you can do it on your to-do app. Okay? They've got much, much, much bigger code bases than we do, and they're working with it just fine. And so it is possible, but it does take some discipline and some careful direction. Anything else? Do both. It's not one or the other. Like any job you apply for will ask you how to use AI. Like, what AI do you use? What do you find it works well at? What do you find it works less well at? What do you do when it has problems? They'll ask you AI questions, but they'll also ask you coding questions. In fact, I learned a few years ago, this is genuinely makes me, wow, no, I've closed the chat. No! Don't worry, I'll already open it real fast, folks. Let me get the chat back real fast. So it's YouTube. Where did I put it? Sorry. Content live. There we go. Sorry. I apologize, folks. I've gone to the wrong thing by accident. And that'll be me streaming now. There we go. Pause me talking. I forgot what I was saying. While I closed my own window, I closed what I was trying to say in the first place. There we go. That's why I come and watch it live, folks. Yes, sorry. I learned a few years ago. This is quite funny. I was at NS Spain, maybe 2019 or something, maybe. I've forgotten. And there was a competition to win like an Apple TV or something. And it came down to take this quiz about Swift, and the person with the highest score gets Apple TV. And the score was very, very high. And I kind of came in and smashed the score. I really demolished the score. And the reason was because, this is apparently my life, they had gone to my site, gone to /interview questions, and pretty much taken these questions. They'd rewritten them since then. It wasn't exactly a direct copy and paste. And this basically walks you through common interview questions. And it actually, for press one, you get guidance as well. And if you have a Hacking with Swift Plus account, you get answers from me, detailed answers walking you through some things in here. So if I sign in, anyway, you can watch it here in detail, and I'll walk you through how to answer the question fully and properly. It gives you the ammo to talk about AI stuff and non-AI stuff, and they want to hear both. You can't go in with I shut down AI every opportunity view, because the chances are they don't. And equally, you can't really go in saying, I only use AI and the first do what I'm doing, because they want to hear someone who knows what they're doing. And so you want that double whammy of both. It's not very easy, but keep at it. Early Linux format days. Yeah, I was in Linux format since issue 30, which was, I don't want to think how many years ago. 20 more years ago? Yowzers. How long till natural language input completely replaces code? Ooh. No, code's always going to be there. When we think about how woolly English is, code's going to be there. Question is, will we want to see the code in 20 years' time? I'm not sure. Will it be more like assembly is today? We don't want to see assembly code. We care about the high-level language, maybe. But I think code's safe for a very, very, very long time yet. Again, it could be LLM seeing it rather than us, but it's quite safe. I think a couple more, folks. I'm going on a bit longer than I intended to, which I apologize for again. Let me try and do a handful real fast. Can I remember a longer release candidate Xcode? Hey, Eric. Eric is a wonderful, wonderful contributor to our community. Hopefully you already follow him on LinkedIn, because he has a lot of great stuff there, particularly right now around the age control stuff for children. Apple still likes, shock and awe. They like the whole WWDC, bang, Xcode 26, who knew? Great stuff. I get that. Claude, Codex, Gemini seem to ship almost daily. Like sometimes twice a day you'll get a Claude update going through, right? They do a lot of updates, and it means they're iterating extremely quickly. Xcode 26.3 with the AI stuff was very much shock and awe. RC2's changed a fair chunk. Look at the release notes of fixed. There's a lot of fixed stuff in the release candidate 2 because the RC1 wasn't really our release candidate at all. It was just a beta with a brand name. And that's a choice. It's an interesting choice, not one I would have made, but I'm glad they're moving. Again, I'm just so glad they're moving. That's what I care about. They're doing things. The team seems psyched and ready to go, and I'm really looking forward to what they do. So no, I can't think of a longer release candidate, that's for sure. It might be in there for another week or two, I think, but it's going to be out soon. They've got to hurry up, though, because 26.4 beta's out now, so I've got to have 26.2 stable, 0.3 release candidate, and 0.4 beta at the same time. It's like, this is too much information. I don't want this many versions of Xcode, quite frankly. Get a move on. And they've also got to try and figure out a way of keeping, Codex and Claude up to date, because right now I've seen some folks doing sim linking to try and keep the Claude Code and the Xcode Claude Code up to date. It's challenging right now, and I'm not sure they've got a solution for that just yet. I spent some time feeding Claude Code screenshots with Control V. You just drag them in, buddy. Just drag them in. Just take them into Claude, just pull them in. Delete this and then say, I don't know, what did I have before? Desktop. What did I have? Flip the stuff here. Here. Make the UI look like this. I don't know. That's what even built example 2 is doing anything. Just drag it in. It's not even that hard to do. It'll just read the file and go, okay, there you go, and work with it. Okay, so it's a new Claude. It's going to read the project first. I've got the MCP as well. Whoops. And so it's going to harass me again. Xcode LS and similar. Just drag it in. It's much easier, and it'll talk to it and read the file directly. In a large applications, it takes time to divide into small parts and have AI work about. Absolutely. One thing I didn't mention here, and if I had more time, I would have done. I'd say I'm already past 2 hours. When you have a situation where you're working on the same project with many agents at the same time, it will trample on each other quite a lot. It'll get things wrong. There's a change it here, change it here. You don't want to go down the route of Git branching. Git branching is a very, very bad idea with multiple agents because they'll try and Git branch at the same repository. Again, overlap happens. There's a very helpful thing called Git work trees, which are more separate from a branch. They are able to have multiple checkouts at the same time, but they're more efficient than a full Git clone. They're much more efficient than that, so they take up less space and they work faster and they let you work more effectively. And so if you have, say, 4 Claude codes or 4 Geminis or 4 Codexes, tell it, hey, please use sub-agents, make them have their own work tree. It'll do multiple checkouts there in the work trees. Peter likes them. Hey, Peter, love your work, man. Seriously, I don't use Gemini for coding, but in terms of DevRel, unbeaten. You're incredible. I love it. Anyway, so work trees are very powerful for that, seriously, and it's a smart way of working because they can all work together on similar kinds of things like regular developers would without trampling over each other, which is very, very powerful indeed. Yeah, I mean, work tree it's built into Git, right? I regret enabling the MCPs at this point because it's harassing me for all random questions here. I mentioned earlier that the history thing in Xcode isn't great because you got to have Git enabled. Claude has a saying, I'm sure Codex does too, I'm sure Gemini has something similar. When you're working with stuff, if you press escape twice, it brings up a history of options from previous memories. So you can say escape, and then go back to like here or here, and it'll wind back the code or conversation to a particular point. Now, this does not replace Git. You want to have Git as well. But if you're like just experimenting down this way, you don't want to go into Git just yet, try. Okay, that sucks. You can wind back 3 changes with the conversation or the code or both by hitting escape twice. It's very, very helpful feature to have. All right, last question, folks. Seriously, I can't handle anymore. It's 21:42 here. Go to bed at some point. I'm flying tomorrow to the US, so I've got to go to bed at some point. Do I see any issues with all the new AI features being put into... No. I mean, you can configure these tools to read your pull requests. Codex is very, very good at that. You can talk to Codex and say, hey, here's my repository, hook into it. When a PR comes in, just auto-review it. And it'll do an auto-quick code review for you and give you feedback and say, this doesn't look right, this doesn't look. And you might ignore it, you might listen to it, but it's there to work with. And again, it's another data point in your job. We all want to ship the best software we can. We want to ship great, polished, loved software, and it's another tool in the arsenal. Another code review, you can't go wrong. I'll definitely connect them to CI for PRs and stuff. It works very, very well for that. Okay, so we're done. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for coming along. Thank you so much for asking your questions. I've done my best to answer as many as I can. I can't stay all night, I'm afraid. If you like the video, please share it. I hope you all learned something along the way. I'm going to look at sharing my skill, this thing here. I might polish it up slightly and then put it out there, but I'll mention it soon. And I'd love to have your feedback, see what you think, because I think it's pretty damn good, but there's always ways to make it better. And so I'll share that one soon and see what you think. If you have any questions, you can, of course, get me on Twitter or Mastodon, or if you have to, Threads, occasionally Blue Sky. I've got a Slack workspace. I've got this nice new shiny book out. That's my plug there. Anyway, thanks for coming, folks. Genuinely, I do appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun being here and talking about AI with you. Go and make something amazing. Take care, folks. Good night.